Our Dustin Kleeman is on the scene. Dustin, where are you? And I know what we're looking at, but why don't you talk us through it?
We're not that far away from where we just were. That's the incredible part. Across the street from me, this is a home that hasn't been touched. What you just saw is literally across the street. And there are a bunch of crews working right now to make sure that this doesn't keep spreading. They're working hard. And, we continue to walk actually south here. This house that has just caught fire, we literally arrived on scene and we were deciding if we should continue to go further. The smoke became so thick we actually had to stop the car. You couldn't see past the hood. It was because this started catching on fire as we were right next to it. The home itself, it appears to be that it was under renovation. There was work being done. Again, I know that you guys have been talking about, you can't understate the loss that has already occurred here. Stepping on scene, the one thing that I noticed was there were 2 swings connected to trees right out in front. That type of stuff really brings it home that these are children's homes, people's homes that are being lost tonight. Crews are on scene, and just in the past 10 minutes since we last talked, I did hear at least 1 helicopter over top of us, surveying the area. But as far as that goes, we don't know much else of what they're attempting to do. We haven't seen any drops going on, so there hasn't been any work done that way. But again, crews are working hard. They're spraying this down, attempting to save it. But other than that, I mean, it's just, this is the type of thing that they continue to deal with. They've been moving frequently up and down Fairview, attempting to find areas that are in need. This is the situation. It switches on a dime. People need to move on a dime. The smoke becomes thick, then it leaves. I know that you're talking about the wind effect on this, and it's really playing out.
Is the wind picking back up again?
At times. It just is a moment, like it's still right now, and then a second more after I talk, it picks back up. So it's about as finicky as they come.
You know, I've been asked to try to get an idea from you about where you are. Did you go continue on Fairview or continue on La Goleta, or are you north of La Goleta still?
We continued on Fairview, yeah. So we actually moved just slightly up, probably, yes, a block up, and that's all we got to. So we're on the 1100 block of Fairview.
All right, and so this fire initially started in the 1500 block of Holiday Hill, so not much, we're talking fairly close in proximity to where they are right now. Dustin, can you tell me about those flames that we're seeing in the background there? What's actually burning behind those trees?
So that's the house that is caught on fire, and Kenny will get a good shot of it. You can see that it moved from beyond the back end, and now it's on top of the home on the roof. We don't know. When we last left off speaking with you, in this general direction where we decided to go, there were a lot of bangs going on. We didn't know what it sounded like. Kenny believes that it might have been propane tanks that were catching on fire and exploding. This is the general area where that was, and this house obviously was not affected when we arrived on scene, and probably less than 90 seconds later, we started seeing flames come up from the behind of it, and then now it is rolling on top of the roof, and looks to be getting close to fully engulfed.
So, Dustin, you showed us those homes right across the street. Have those homeowners gotten out, or are they watching the progress? What can you tell us? I see cars there. This looks like people are there.
So this area where we've been, at least even where you saw Asia earlier in the Goleta area, those are completely vacant. Nobody's inside of them. Nobody is in this general vicinity. From what I can tell, everybody has listened to law enforcement. They have evacuated like they were supposed to. A lot of them not taking vehicles too. Some of these vehicles are media. We're already seeing media come up from LA and talking with them that they have arrived on scene as well. So obviously getting attention all the way from the bigger markets. But we want to point out that people have paid attention, and like you guys said, it's not worth it to stick around. So if anybody is watching this at home hoping that this dies down, just please get in, please leave. We will keep you updated on our app, and obviously what happens next.
Seems like there are a lot of trees in that area as well. Like this is, as you look up and down that street, there's fuel between that house, you, and across the street.
Not only fuel, but we've got power lines going back and forth. They're right in front of that house. You're right. It's fuel central right here, and that's very dangerous. They've cut the power, obviously. You go down on a few streets and it's completely black. It's darkness, and there's nothing to be seen. But you're right. The vegetation is here. It peppers the entire street up and down, all the way across. And I know that you mentioned it earlier. It's not the city itself being laid out the way it is. There are some areas that are, don't have any vegetation, and then there's plenty of it that can be spotted in just a small space. Are those firefighters that are parked there, are they trying to save or protect the houses that are not burned on your side of the street where you're standing now, or are they trying to do something with the house that's on fire? There's been water being sprayed, and as we took the shot earlier, Kenny being sprayed with water, they are working on that one. But no, there is not work being done on the home that I pointed out to you. They're looking at it. It appears that there's movement in between them, but as far as I see, it's really nothing going on in this home. It's completely quiet. I see a firefighter now walking in the area, and I'm not sure if maybe just checking for some fuel that they don't want to deal with. But are you looking to protect this structure? We're just kind of here. I'm asking him questions here. Yeah. So he's making sure that there's nothing else being caught in this area. Does that include spraying this down at all, or is that?
This is looking really good here, so if it starts getting some ember wash, then we'll come over here and take care of that.
So you guys are obviously watching this as best as possible, but really when it comes to something that catches like that on fire, it's really hard to
stop unless you jump on it right away, and we don't have the resources with our Type 3s to really get in there and make an aggressive attack on it.
Could you tell me what were those pops earlier that we heard?
I didn't hear those.
Accelerants? Okay. Well, I appreciate the time. And everybody's been evacuated from this area as far as you know?
Initially, right as the fire started, they made mandatory evacuation.
Okay. So, again, they're just monitoring right now, and when a house does kick up,
so Dustin,
let me say,
so
they're working as hard as possible.
This particular type of crew they have there can't do full home engagement, right? Isn't that what he just told you? It was difficult for us to hear the entirety of that talk you just had.
Yeah, so he says that there's not much they can do with what they have right now available to them. It's essentially trying to protect anything further. He was here in the front house looking around, making sure there are no embers, double checking to see if there are any issues that might spark this one. But they can't do anything for the one that is being burned. They're doing their best, throwing water on it, but that's as much as they can do.
And essentially to stop it from spreading as opposed to putting it out.
Right.
Correct.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Dustin. Again, actually, before you go, are you standing actually on Fairview, or are you standing on a different cross street?
I'm standing on Fairview. This is Fairview that goes up that hill and continues on. Again, the 1100 block, from what I can tell from these homes. And let me get a better look, too, of what the cross street is. Lamora, I believe, what I'm looking at as a cross street closest to this home.
All right. Thank you.